you're driving your car on two wheels, the other two wheels unused and safe. I don't know for when to be used, but the two wheels that you're using will feel enormous amount of stress. So, in the yogic system, the significance of the intuition is as important as the logical. So bringing a balance between Ida and Pingala is a very important part of living a balanced life. Being able to conduct yourself through complex situations with ease comes only when the intuitive dimension of your mind is sufficiently evolved and developed. Otherwise, small things will freak you because for everything there are multiple steps. Here we'll be doing a few things to bring a balance between Ida and Pingala, to give you an experiential understanding of this. If you take your forefinger, place it beneath your nostrils and gently exhale. Find out in which nostril the breath is dominant right now. How many of you right? Left? Okay, it's either right or left. Only two barrels, you know. If there were 25, how complex it would have been. If you observe yourself through the day, you would have noticed that approximately between 40 to 48 minutes, the dominance of the breath will shift from right to left and left. The fundamental reason to right, have you ever noticed this? Have you? Why this is happening is, within the system, the dominance of energy, a prana, which is the vital force in the system, is shifting from Pingala to Ida and Ida to Pingala every 40 minutes. Once the energy shifts, within the next 8 minutes, the breath will shift. If you're in a perfect state of health and well-being, it will shift within a few moments, or we can say instantaneously. This shifting is happening every 40 minutes. But during certain times of the day, which are referred to as the Sandhya Kalas, which means the twilight zones, 20 minutes before sunrise, 20 minutes after sunrise. Oh, that's okay, Sadhguru, tell me if there are other times. 20 minutes before noon, 20 minutes after noon. 20 minutes before sunset, 20 minutes after sunset, 20 minutes before midnight and 20 minutes after midnight. 40 minutes at a time, 4 times during the day. There is a certain transition happening. These are called twilight zones or sandhyas, because at this time, the balance between Ida and Pingala shifts very rapidly. Because it's shifting rapidly, this makes life very stressful, because it is like bringing a balance between Ida and Pingala is important for a balanced development of a human being. You feel truly comfortable only when you're in balance, in some way. When there's any kind of imbalance, there's discomfort, isn't it? Yes? When you're experiencing any kind of imbalance, there is discomfort. Only when you attain to a certain balance, you feel really comfortable. So comfort is never really determined by what you're sitting on or where you are. Comfort is determined by how balanced you are within yourself. This basic comfort that every human being must have, unfortunately, has been denied to too many people. Just to sit with total ease in one place is not there in most people right now, isn't it? Simply sitting in ease, complete ease, it is not there. So, when there is no ease, it's a disease. Whether you're medically diagnosed or not, it is a disease. If the disease continues over a period of time, it will manifest itself in the body as a malfunction, which gets labeled as some kind of disease, like incredible names they're coming out with for every kind of problem.
Yes? So, this breath or what conducts the breath in yoga, we call this the kurma nadi. You know what's a kurma? Not kurma, kur. No, I saw some tongues. Kurma means a turtle or a tortoise, an amphibious creature. It's in the water, but it can also venture…
Reason why the system doesn't last its span. It's designed to last its span, but it is not lasting its span because we're keeping it in various levels of imbalance. You drive your car on just two wheels all the time, you know, something will break down. So, similarly, the whole system is not being properly kept. There is not enough balance in the system. Only when you're in balance, there is comfort, otherwise there is no comfort. One will not know comfort unless he knows some sense of balance within himself. Only when you're in balance, you can be still. And man is ill. Human beings are ill only because they do not know how to be still. Stillness will not come unless there is proper balance. Only when you're totally balanced, you can be still within yourself, otherwise that will not happen.
You mentioned that Ida and Pingla. Is it really possible to imagine those, or they're just psychological nadis?
You don't have to imagine those, they are there. Yes, very much. They are not a physical existence. If you cut this body and see where are the nadis, you won't find them. They don't have an existence like that. But if you become more and more aware of the way the energy is moving, you will see it is moving in a defined pattern, it is not moving episodically. So there are 72,000 different ways in which it is moving. All these 72,000 are springing from these two main nadis, Ida and Pingala. It's distinctly experienceable.
In yourself, it's very easy to bring it to a balance at these times. To an extent, almost everywhere in the world, any spiritual process or practice means morning, evening. Sandhya has become synonymous with spiritual practice. The time has become synonymous with many practices. So…
So, you can become an amphibious creature if you master this kurma nadi. That means you're in the body, but you can be little outside the physical nature, because this is your desire. Your desire is not to leave the physical for good. You want to be rooted in the physical, but you want to have a taste of what is beyond. This is human desire always. In trying to see everything that you're doing, please look at this. Whether you are going out to conquer the world, you get married, you bear children, you do this, you drink, you go to temple, you drug, you do whatever the hell you want. Essentially, all that you're looking for is, you want a bigger experience of life, isn't it? Yes or no? The only way your life's experience can be enhanced is by expanding your perception. If your eyes can see something that it cannot see right now, your experience is enhanced. If your ears can hear something that you cannot hear something right now, your experience is enhanced. Like this, if your perception is enhanced, only then your experience is enhanced. Otherwise, you're only going on imagining things within the limited data that you have already. Doesn't matter what. Psychological balance is 100% guaranteed for a person who takes charge of his prana, always. When I say balance, maybe most of you won't be medically considered imbalanced, but a whole lot of people are psychologically imbalanced. Suppose you have a hand. Suppose this hand simply pops up right now. It pokes into your eyes and it scratches you and beats you. Because The other words are horribly corrupted. Awareness and this and that are barely corrupted. So I'm using the word attention, but the word attention is not suggesting what is needed. Just mental alertness is not enough. It has to become really attentive. If you make yourself like that, you know how these five are functioning.
The energy body comprises of 72,000 nadis. When we say a nadi, it means a channel or a pathway. Nadi does not mean a nerve. If you cut open this body, you will not see the nadis, there is no such thing physically. But experientially, if you observe the nature of the movement of energy in the system, you will see that it always moves along established pathways, never randomly. So there are 72,000 ways in which it moves. 36 on the right, 36 on the left, 36,000 on either side. The right is called as Pingala, the left.
Doing this, there is a sickness, isn't it? At least your hand is sick. Let me not blame the whole person. At least your hand is sick for sure, isn't it? Well, this is what most people's minds are doing. Every day it scratches you from inside, makes you cry, make you bawl, make you worry. In so many varieties of suffering, it pokes your eyeballs out many times. Is it not doing? It is sick. Maybe in a socially accepted manner, but it is sick. So one who takes charge of his prana can be 100% assured his psychological balance is there, you cannot shake it. Physiological balance also is there, but physiological ailments may happen due to various reasons. One thing is there are infections and other, organisms who want to live. Yes, they want to live. Another thing is variety of chemicals and poisons and stuff we may swallow knowing in an individual person. That is going into an extremely refined form of pranayama where we particularly design something for an individual person because he's in a certain way. For that, to come to that level, it will need a general level of pranayama where it takes care of these five vayus. If one has a certain mastery over these five vayus, there is no such thing as physical ailment or particularly psychological ailment is out of question. If somebody takes charge of their prana, whatever may be the external atmosphere, whatever influences in terms of reverberations, waves, emotions, other kinds of pressures, energy is prana. Prana has 10 different manifestations in the body. But for the sake of understanding, we'll bring it down to 5. These 5 are referred to as 5 vayus or panchavayus. This is pranavayu, samanavayu, udhanavayu, apana and vyana. They're in charge of different dimensions of what happens in this.
Is referred to as Ida. These are also referred to as sun and moon. So, these two, Ida and Pingala, or the sun and the moon, the right and the left, on the level of your mind signify the logical and the intuitive. When I say intuitive, intuition is not another dimension of perception, but just another dimension of computing. If you have the same amount of information within you, if you go logically, there may be 10 steps.
The light bulb, it can run the camera, it can, run the air conditioning, it can do million things, but not because of its intelligence. It does the same thing, always. Because of a particular device, a certain thing happens. But now I'm talking about, this will happen in future, that you may have smart electricity. It is not far away. In the next 50 years, you may have smart energy, that the energy behaves in a particular way. You can make it behave in a certain way because you can imprint certain memory upon it. So, this is an intelligent energy where a certain amount of imprint is there. Because of that, it functions in a specific manner indeed. If you're psychologically in an extremely good place, 10% of physiological problems are not even a problem, you know. It's not even a problem. Most of the time, what little things that may happen to the body, that's not the thing. What reaction that happens in your mind is the big thing, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So, pranayama means you want to take charge of the vital forces. As I said, they have an intelligence of their own, each one of them. Either during birth, after conception, how they enter the newborn and how they leave the dead. In this, it clearly displays it has an intelligence of its own. One may not notice this unless they become very conscious about these things. It's a world by itself, if you ask me. It takes a certain level of attention. The word attention may not go deep enough. I'm human mechanism. This is an endless subject if I speak like this. I'm just trying to abridge it in a sensible manner. Taking charge of this. Yama means to control or to take charge. Pranayama means a method with which you want to take charge of these panchavayus. Because how your body functions, how your mind functions, how the whole physiological framework, this human mechanism, how it functions, is determined by this energy. This is an energy, it is an intelligent energy in the sense it carries a certain amount of memory. The karmic memory of the individual person is imprinted on this energy. So in each person, the prana functions in a different manner. It is unique to each individual. It is not like… it's like electricity. Electricity is not smart. It can light up unknowingly and it can cause things. So physiological ailment is, I would say, 90% guaranteed that it won't happen. But psychological well-being is 100% guaranteed.